Hello. So, I felt inspired to start doing a daily talk. Every day I'm going to post a talk on YouTube with the intentions of it being uh, live. But right now I need 1,000 subscribers um, in order to do the live ones. Apparently you have to qualify to do live streams on YouTube. So, I guess we'll just slowly get there or fast, who knows. But for now, I'll just be sharing recorded ones, and the more that you can subscribe and share this, the quicker we can get to doing it live. Because I don't know, I find it something special about it being live, honestly. Actually being in the moment together versus this being recorded. Because technically, I mean, right now, you are out in the world right now doing whatever you're doing, and at like 3 or 4 o'clock on this Monday, uh, Eastern Standard Time, you're doing your things. If you're on the other side of the world, you might be sleeping, or you might be at work, or who knows. As I'm recording this. But yeah, so I'd like to do it live. So I'm setting that intention. And as far as what I'm going to talk about every day, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's going to be somewhat rooted. It's going to be somewhat rooted in, spiritual concepts, spiritual topics, the practice of enlightenment. It's what I'm all about. It's what I talk about, and more importantly, it's what I practice every day, every second of every day. So all kinds of questions can come up, different, I don't know, inspirations. For example, I made a video earlier today about how we have short attention spans. Like you watch a 5 minute video, you can do a 5 minute video, but an hour-long video is like, whoa, that's too much YouTube video for one person. You gotta. Why though? I mean, really, why? If the content is invaluable to your life experience, then what is an hour? Honestly, when you watch I mean, you can burn through 6 or 7 hours binge watching on Netflix, a really interesting show. So, yeah, but so I'll bring up all kinds of things like this, whatever just pops up in my head uh, that might bring value to you, different perspectives, philosophies, maybe sometimes just random fun things. Who knows what's to come? But yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited to see how it blooms. And here we are. What will be today's topic? Oh, yes, the idea of feeling uncomfortable with change. That's a big topic. That's probably one I could do a whole series on. In fact, maybe that's what I'll do. I'll do a series of talks um, to keep it a bit more organized. So this week, my daily talk is going to be around the idea and the challenge of being uncomfortable with change. We've all experienced it, for sure, and some of us, it's more intense than for others. I've noticed in myself when I was younger, I had a really hard time adapting to change. I would feel a lot of stress, or fear, or anxiousness when something would change, and I kind of like lost my control for that moment, and it was unsettling. But I could do it. And then I know like some people that I've worked with and stuff that are a bit older seem to have a much harder time with changing like a routine, for example. You're at work and you see, someone who's younger tends to be a little bit more malleable in being willing to like change a pattern, a routine, where somebody who's more fixed in the routine has grown very comfortable with it, has like trusts it. It knows, okay, this pattern works for me, this routine works for me. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. And their experience and their wisdom creates this solidification with this certain pattern that brings them decent results. Not perfect results, but decent results. And they'd rather have that than have a mess. So a lot of times as we get older especially, we start to get more and more comfortable with our routines. And then creating change within our routine, but I mean, the topic of change is everywhere, honestly. I mean, age. You are aging is change. The present moment is a constant wave of change. So what's happening in the world right now is change is happening. Change is getting stirred up. Change is moving. And whether it's fast or slow is up to your perspective, but things are constantly changing. I mean, this video, right? There are new words, there are new sounds, there are new ideas, there's colors, there's movement. Movement is change. And our whole life is full of change. So, we can try to avoid change as much as possible, but it's sort of like it's inevitable. And when you run away from something inevitable, you just end up suffering for no reason, or for more reason than you even need to. Which is kind of a shame. It's like if it's raining and you want a sunny day, but it's raining, well, you can't control the rain, so why be upset about it? Why not enjoy the rain? Instead of trying to change the weather, change your perspective of the weather. And that's actually how so much of rolling and flowing with change can become really enjoyable and peaceful versus scary or painful or like, just those feelings of like, ugh, that can come with change. And the funny thing is it can come in such a range, change. The range of change. There can be such a range of that testing, whether you're in a comfort zone of a work environment and then suddenly the work disappears. You get fired or you quit or something happens. Coronavirus comes around and then all of a sudden the jobs are gone. And then boom, big change, right? How do we handle this change? It's really such a big key to understanding ourselves more and really learning how to work with life versus just constantly feeling like a victim when some change happens. Because the wisdom knows that change is going to happen. It's constantly happening. It doesn't stop. So you can resist it, and unfortunately you will suffer. You will experience, and by suffering, I know that is kind of an uncommon word. I'm not just referring to like really intense physical pain type of suffering. I'm referring to any type of discomfort that we feel. Even the little traces of impatience or fear or anger or judgment. The list goes on and on with all the different types of what suffering can feel like. But it's not comfortable, basically. And it feels nice when we can let it go, when we can let our sufferings go. Not to mention the fact that we all carry wounds. Every person on this planet carries psychological wounds from their childhood, from their upbringing, from random people that they've encountered, from family members, from friends especially, from family members. Some of our deepest wounds are with our family members. That's why it sometimes is the most sensitive people to be around, right? Your family reunions, they really tend to clash a lot of times because there's a lot of shared past and there's a lot of wounds. So that's a whole other thing I'll be talking about quite a bit throughout these daily talks. And while I love challenging systems and I love challenging myself and everyone else around me, like with the idea of making super long videos, I won't. I'll keep them short, under 10 minutes every day. I guess that'll be my limit. 10 minutes. In like 10 minutes. Be prepared for a lot of corny puns, maybe some dad jokes. Just fair warning. Some poetry, some music, lots of love. Finally thing I'll say is I know with spirituality it's a very sensitive subject because a lot of us come from religious backgrounds, and the idea of changing our religious beliefs is it's a very deep and scary. It's uncomfortable, and by no means do I wish to push you out of your comfort zone. I highly recommend stay in your comfort zone and maybe just gently explore at the pace you feel comfortable with. Because, yeah, I know in human history, man, humans have really misled each other in disastrous ways. So just know I'm not pushing you against your, too much. But I love you. See you next time.